coming to you on a Friday evening here in the UK. What I'd like to do is just point something out that's happened over the last couple of days that's been a real shock to many people in the United Kingdom. A very well-known TV personality by the name of Jimmy Savile, who was very active and high profile within the 70s and 80s in particular in this country. He was even given a knighthood. He became Sir Jimmy Savile. That was his name, and he was given a knighthood for his charity work and his angelic services, shall we say, to society. But it now transpires, since the man died, more's to the pity, that over the last few days many people have now started coming forward. It's like a floodgate of individuals that have reported to the police that when they were children they were attacked by this individual. Some of them raped, boys and girls, and some of them were molested and taken advantage of in all sorts of hideous ways. So the image of this individual has been completely shattered very, very quickly. But for decades this man has managed to conceal his abuse of children. He has managed to conceal his illegal activities. And I am sure now that as time goes on, as the police now start to investigate all of the crimes that are now being reported to them across different counties in the UK, there will be more that comes out from this. Also, the British Broadcasting Company that Jimmy Savile worked with for all those years are now on the back foot and have come out, have made public statements today because of the public interest in this. That this is something that they now have to take very, very seriously, and they are. There is now 2 public inquiries taking place within the BBC, looking at the cultural reasons and why this man was allowed to get away with this for so long, and also if there were anybody else involved with this type of activity. So there's going to be a lot that comes out from this. At the moment, as we speak from this day to day, there are 40 individuals, 40, that have come forward so far, and reported that they have been in some way either raped or molested by this individual, Jimmy Savile. The police have also told us on the news, the national news, that they have 340 lines of inquiry so far. And this has only been coming out in the news over the last couple of days. Why am I bringing that out? Well, the reason I'm bringing it out is to make it clear to everyone that this isn't just an issue that we've been talking about. It's a big issue across the world, and we know that. But I wrote some letters, 10 letters, quite a long time ago now. I received one letter back, and that was from the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, the NSPCC. They're the only ones to write back to me. And if you remember, if you look at my previous posting, my concerns were to get something out there and start things moving. I've written to Chief Constables, the Metropolitan Police, I've written to Theresa May, the Home Secretary, I've written to TV personalities, my own Member of Parliament, who hasn't incidentally got back to me, which I'm not happy about, and to raise this whole issue of the 2-witness rule, the way that the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, through inadvertently, you could say, through its own policy, protects paedophiles and allows children to continue to be abused. I watched last night on YouTube an old Panorama BBC, ironically the BBC documentary on Jehovah's Witnesses and paedophilia, and they mention in there, it's a very good program. If you go on Google, go on Panorama and look for it yourselves, you'll be able to watch this thing. It's a very good TV program, but it actually exposes once again, we all know this, but exposes the 2-witness rule, exposes repeated rapes of children after they've tried to report it to the elders. it does not work. The policy does not work. It protects the predator. It certainly does nothing for the victim. Now, along with that, the reason that I'm bringing these two together today is to make it clear that I'm now going to start writing again. And I would like anybody in the UK, in particular the UK, those that that have a passion for this and want to see this policy change. And this is what it's about, a policy change. We want to get this Watchtower Bible and Tract Society to change this policy on paedophilia. They call it child abuse. Now, one of the things that they've said is that they have a child safeguard policy, and it's this one here. But actually, if you get a copy of this and read through their policy statement, this is the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, by the way, it says nothing at all about running straight to the police, running straight to the authorities the minute a child is reported to have been molested or raped. It doesn't say that. It says that, we've seen the secret letters, also that the elders take it on, it goes back to head office, and then they decide exactly where it all goes. Well, most of the time it goes straight under the rug. That's exactly where it goes. It gets concealed, and the individual in question gets protected. The reason the predator gets protected is because there is only one witness, and that's normally the victim, the child. Then all sorts of smothering techniques take place, where this needs to go quiet, don't upset the congregation, the usual score. If you carry on with this, you're causing divisions within the congregation. This is something that we will not take lightly, and pressure is applied probably to the parents as well as the child. And so it all goes quiet. And guess what? The individual carries on molesting. He carries on raping. And there are cases in this country, very recent, where that's happening. Watch the Panorama programme and you can see it for yourself. Now, one of the things that the NSPCC have said is, and this might surprise a few people, child protection policies and procedures. And I quote, "All organisations that work with children and young people should have a child protection policy and procedures." Well, there it is, for what it's worth, which clearly set out what someone should do if they believe a child is at risk of abuse or suspect that a child has been abused. Right? Well, we know what the elders do. They go straight to Bethel. They ring Bethel, and then they have a little whisper between each other, but they don't go to the police. Okay? Within most organisations, and I'm quoting now, the procedure involves reporting the suspected abuse to a named individual within the organisation who has received child protection training and who is then responsible for reporting the abuse to the authorities. Okay? Well, that clearly does not happen. Each congregation does not have a child protection officer. They don't have one. They really don't have one. And they certainly don't go running straight to the police with it. So, this is what will surprise a few people. Sex offenders joining a congregation. The CCPAS, the Church's Child Protection Advisory Service, which is something they obviously won't ever belong to because it's part of Babylon the Great, as they say, advises that if a sex offender joins a congregation, then any information about them should only be shared on a need-to-know basis with the leadership in the church. Interesting. Who are responsible for ensuring that appropriate safeguards are in place, are shared on a need-to-know basis. Okay, well, we know, we've just read there and quoted the previous paragraph, that this is the stuff that goes straight to the authorities first. They are the professionals. They are in a position to evaluate all of the different scales of risk and then make a value judgment on whether or not this is an idiot that's actually got a file as long as your arm and who's just joined the congregation. So with that in mind, that's the type of thing that now I'm going to be writing back to the NSPCC with, and I'm going to give you the address in a second, to actually ask them that I'm thanking them for their letter, but also to make it clear that where do we go from here? Because although their mission statement, one of their core values is that everyone has a responsibility to support the care and protection of children, unquote. That's exactly what they've said. Now, what I'm trying to get at here is that with the two-witness policy, you have many tens of thousands of Jehovah's Witnesses are at risk here. The children are at risk because the two-witness policy makes it very clear that this goes absolutely nowhere when a reported case of child rape comes to the attention of the elders. They don't run to the police, they go straight to the branch office, who then more than likely will always say one thing: evaluate the situation, trust in Jehovah, but never to the police, all that sort of thing. So the abuse continues, and in many cases with horrendous results. So I'm asking the NSPCC, this is a policy that protects paedophiles and exposes and leaves children vulnerable. Where do you advise I go next to get this policy changed? Because in anybody's book, anybody that evaluates this procedure, this policy from the Watchtower, will be able to see it's a no-brainer. This does not protect children. And so therefore, where do I go from here? And if you're not going to support me, where else can I go to apply pressure to get this policy changed? And that's what I want other individuals to help me with. The more of us out there writing these letters, go to your local police, speak to your chief constables, speak to your member of parliament, go to social services, get in contact with the NSPCC, open letters, copy loads of people in, fire them off. Come on YouTube and show exactly what you've sent. Get it out there. The more people that are out there that are highlighting this, the more chance we've got of getting somewhere with it, especially now. And the reason I say now is because it's a raw nerve right now out there in the country. Many people are appalled by this. Someone somewhere at a senior level needs to champion our cause for us and open up this policy for questioning, for debate, to say, is it that safe? Is your policy safe, Watchtower Bible and Tract Society? Can you guarantee us that you are protecting your children from abuse when you're not even reporting this to the police? When you don't even have trained child abuse officers within your congregations? When you've got a policy written and expressed that clearly shows, and within the secret letters, that you don't even go to the police, that you're to go straight to head office instead? No. That's the type of thing that needs to be debated. And only the police, only social services, only the NSPCC are in a position and have the weight and authority to start getting behind this, and through radio, through TV, whatever it takes, and start exposing this evil policy, and start trying to protect children of the future. Because there are kids out there now that are not abused. There are kids out there right now that next week, next month, next year will find themselves in a position where they're being attacked by a predator. And I, for one, can't sit back. I've got to say to myself, I've done what I could. I've been writing, I've been pressurising where I can, but it needs more of us. And now, with the atmosphere out there in the country, now's a good time to be applying more pressure. Expose this shower for what they are. I've had my rant. The address for the NSPCC is as follows: Weston House, W-E-S-T-O-N, House, 42 Curtin Road. That's C-U-R-T-A-I-N Road, London, EC2A3NH. You can Google the address anyway. Telephone number 020 7825 2500. As a last resort here, and this is something for anybody that's watching this that knows of a child that could be vulnerable, or knows of children that could be vulnerable, you can ring this number that I'm about to give you, that's anonymous, But they will take it seriously, the NSPCC. I promise you that. You don't have to give your name, but you do need to report it when you hear of abuse, or you know that someone's about to get themselves into a shed load of trouble. The number is 0808 800 5000. So please, if you know of anybody out there that's about to be exposed to this type of thing, ring the authorities. Just do it anonymously. Nothing will come back on you. And we understand within the congregations, we know how dangerous that can be for you. But report it to the authorities. Report it to the NSPCC, because they can do something about this. And along with any letters, send the letters off anonymously if you want to. Just get them off. The more of us that do this, the greater the chance that we can start applying pressure and get this policy changed, this evil, sick policy. Okay, I've had my rant. Thank you very much for listening to me. I will give an update as we send this stuff off, and we'll wait for more returns on the letters, and hopefully we'll start to see some production, something productive come from it. In the meantime, lots of prayers, everybody. Bye for now.